Wait. Give me like a few seconds. Okay, so the first one is drafting. So you just write. It means you're writing a rough, okay, or maybe a scratch. And then when you do some rough scratch, you want to focus on the main idea, okay. And but then you might skip some sections, okay, and then you make notes yourself, and then you come back again and you add more examples for you to check your facts later, kan? And when you do some drafting, you don't need to worry about the grammar, the spellings, the punctuation, because somehow you're gonna have time for you to go back and to refine all those parts. Okay, so this is like a rough draft for your paper. Okay, so so how many drafts should you plan to write? So when you have been given one question, you don't need to do you might have several drafts, uh, right, before you exactly start writing. It's up to you, but don't take longer time for you to draft. Okay, so the idea is when you read a lot, when you get a lot of because when you start drafting, you will take time for you, and then you take more time. In examination, you will be given like 1 hour for you to start doing it. But I don't think you're gonna have like time for you to drafting, because when you do draft, you might tend to get to use up. How many minutes do you draft normally? How?
2 minutes maybe.
So do you like straightforward writing, or do you draft?
Draft.
Huh?
I don't actually do proper drafting because I just write every single point that I know in my mind.
Oh, right.
So yeah, I just managed to write it straightforward using the
Oh,
points that I've already written.
yes. Okay, because just now we learned some strategies to gather the point, and you already like do some listing, brainstorming and such to get the point. But somehow all the points need uh to put it in a draft, okay, so that you know what's the point to be included in which paragraph. Okay, so normal drafting is this is like the simple drafting. So the first drafting, you just put okay. I think I changed. I don't want to do. Um, diagram, diagram. Right. So you have
My device on.
introduction. This is like your first draft to introduction. Okay. Okay. And then what do you think? Okay, what sentence to be included in introduction? Like I think we learned some introduction using the metaphor. Okay. And then you have your thesis statement. This is the simple draft. Okay. Then you write your thesis statement here. Okay. So after you do the brainstorming, then you choose what is going to be the introduction, what to put in the thesis statement, and then you go for the body. Yeah? Then you have the body. So normally you have like body one. Need to enlarge it on. Okay. So you have the body one, and you have body two, and you have at least 3 paragraphs on the body. Okay. Then inside the body, you put your topic sentence. Okay, is in the body two also you put your topic sentence. Okay. And boleh choose you put your topic sentence. Okay. And then after you have your topic sentence, continue with the support sentence. So let's have support sentence. This is also support sentence. So choose like at least like you have 1, 2, and 3 support sentence. 1, 2, 3. So the support sentence can be in the forms of examples, some additional. Okay. So you have that. Okay. And then you go for your conclusion. So you have your conclusion, and your conclusion so also put some thesis statement, some kind of points, okay, to put in your conclusion. What specify you want to put. Then you can have like simple of. It's already there. I already wrote conclusion. Sorry. Okay. So this is the drafting. Okay. So just now, when you before that, okay. This one again. This is the thing. This is how you brainstorm, right? This is how you do. This is all the points. Okay, all the points that you do. So from the points, put it. Okay, convert it into this kind of draft. Okay. Oh, I cannot write here. Oh, this one. I think I write here. Drafting. Okay, it's like draft. Okay, so this is a simple drafting. This is something that you have learned before. Okay, it's not like quite hard, right? So a very simple drafting. So whatever all the points, put here in what introduction, you put here, and then you put some words here, and then you write. Okay. So I don't think you have like time for do this, okay? But try to spend like 1 or 2 minutes for you to brainstorm. It's actually it's up to you how you're gonna do drafting, okay? But I think we're going to practice, okay? I'm gonna give you like one topic for you to practice only for the draft, okay? So that you know in the future when you encounter with this kind of writing questions that you know, basically we know how to put, okay, into a draft. All right. So the second one, we're going to identify how to overcome writer's block. Okay, what do you understand by writer's block? What is the writer's block? Anybody? Anyone? Did you say something, Ashra? I cannot hear you, no?
No, I didn't say anything, but I just shook my head. I never actually heard about writer's block.
Not sure?
Yeah, I've never heard about writer's block actually.
Oh,
This is a
okay.
new term.
So writer's block is when sometimes you having a hard time getting started. So when you want to start writing, you have like blank. You don't know where to start. You don't know like you will like wasting. You know, you will somehow waste time on staring at your blank page, and then you wouldn't get the ideas where to start. Okay, so this happens sometimes for those students who write a lot, okay, and then it suddenly it appears, and then when you have encountered with this kind of problem, sometimes you don't want to continue anymore. And I've seen some students having this writer's block when they having start, started to answer questions from in examination, right? So when this student they look at the questions and then they're just thinking they have like 5 questions to be answered. Then they were thinking which questions want to ask, and then they just stop because they don't have this kind of ideas. Okay, so when we do like a lot of writing, okay, I hope that we won't get this blocks, but there's also some ways to improve. Okay, so it's kind of time is quite a moment that you think that you don't have anything, you feel blank in your head. Okay, I'm going to share you this some ways, okay, to overcome the writer's block. Okay, so don't waste time wasting staring at the blank page, and instead try this technique to get your draft started. Okay, can someone read the first square here? Anybody? Volunteer?
Me, teacher.
Okay,
The start one.
all right, the first one, yeah, start.
Start where you feel inspired. You don't have to start at the beginning. You can start in the middle or go on to a new section of your paper if you've gotten stuck in one spot.
Okay, okay. So sometimes you might have difficulty in starting the first line of the essay. The first line, the very first line. So why not you just go to the body? Can you could just go straight to the body, put some space, keep some space for the introduction, and then you come back to the introduction. Don't leave the introduction. Okay. All right. The second one, anybody? Anyone?
I would like to
Okay.
try one of the pre-writing strategies from lesson 3. For example, you can pre-write on one section of your outline or one paragraph of your paper.
Okay. So we have done the pre-writing. Okay. You, like Ashraf did. Okay. You just start writing. You just start writing wherever you just go when writing. But when you start writing, you didn't check even the grammars and such. Okay. So you can actually do that. The pre-writing strategies, you just write, but then if you then just spend a few minutes on you for you to check, okay, the sentence good, okay, and then number 3, the third one. Anybody?
Me, teacher.
Okay.
Summarize your main point. Write what you most want to say in a simple language as you can. This might be as easy as revision your thesis statement or working on your favorite point in the paper.
Okay. All right. You can do like summarize your main point. Okay. Okay. Next, the next one.
I want to try, teacher.
Okay. Yeah. Try.
Change your perspective. Begin your draft as a letter to someone else or write as if you were someone else.
Yes. Okay. So you might like start, but just change. Maybe you are like some kind of people, okay, and the things that way. Okay. The next one. Okay, volunteer. Anybody? This one. Try something different. Anyone?
Teacher.
Yep.
So the next one is try something different. If you are used to composing on the computer, pick up a pen and a paper instead.
Oh yeah, I think we get used to the computer now, because we have like some kind online. But it's just goes back to the traditional way of start writing on the paper, okay, and then you can just copy back. Do you have like any app, for example, in exam, because you need to answer everything straightforward in the computer? Do you have any app to convert those handwriting into a type writing? Anybody? Any app?
No, teacher.
No. I
No.
mean,
No.
haven't you tried?
No, because I usually type those things to my computer right away instead
Yeah.
of writing on a paper and then shooting a picture.
Oh yes, okay. Because Ashraf, you get used with doing that again. Because when you do programming, then you can like straightforward write it out again using the keyboard and such. But then there will be like some students who, you can have like the writer's block, because you need to think and looking at the computer. So what you can do is start writing on the piece of paper. But if you download the Google Lens, do you have a Google Lens?
Most Android phones,
Oh, yeah. I think most Android you have the lens. Yeah? So what you can do in the lens is you can just uh
you can
copy
scan the
again.
picture,
Yes, you take the picture.
copy the text,
Yes, and then somehow it will.
extract the
Make
text.
but make sure your handwriting is able to
Good
be
enough
like.
for it to read.
Because when you do
Yes.
like
Some people might
different
not
kind.
know, but yeah, not all Android phones pre-install Google Lens like mine. So you can
Okay.
actually access them using Google Assistant, I think.
Uh,
Well, if you don't know how to access your Google Assistant, I don't know.
yes, okay. Because like the internet is in your hands and everything is in your
Yeah.
hands. So why don't you like try it? Okay, try it. Just write anything. Make sure your handwriting is easy to be read, and then try to use this Google Lens or any other applications, and then you just change the font. I think it's easier that way. So next time if you're having an exam, you have this kind of source and it's easier for you, okay? Because when you start writing on the computer, I mean, you do have that kind of moment lah. Okay. The next one, Sakina. Anybody? Anyone? Okay, Alia. Wanna try, Alia?
Talk it out. Explain to someone else what you want to say. Bouncing your ideas off them can help you clarify your thoughts. Besides, they might say things that will spur your writing.
Okay, just like, but I don't think you can do this in the exam, okay? But because you cannot talk out with your friends, but you can see it just looking at your friends. You look at your friends and imagining that you're talking to friends, okay? Okay, but I think I like the next one. Okay, can someone read the next one? Visualize.
Yeah, I can teach you.
Okay.
Visualize yourself writing successfully. Imagine
Yeah.
that you are in a comfortable spot surrounded by all the things you need to write and are busy writing.
Okay, this one is bad. This one is good. Okay, just you want to write and visualize yourself like you next to the coffee machines and you next to what things that you like, man, and then you're just thinking that you are a novelist, a writer, you know? So you can start writing. Okay, the next one. Anybody?
Me, teacher.
Okay.
Stop what you do. Stop what you are doing. Go on
Okay.
another assignment or another activity.
All right.
Wait an hour or so, or if you have time, a day or so before returning to your writing. You'll come back with a fresh outlook and usually overcome the problem easily.
Yes. Okay. This is like if you have like some kind of homework assignments, and it should be okay that you have to wait an hour or so, right? To get fresh, okay, to go back. Don't just leave and you don't coming back. Because somehow when you after you have done like one paragraph, two paragraphs of writing, then you stop and then have some coffee, and then you come back and say, what are the things that you have wrote here? And then you just, oh, I need to do some changes. Okay. This is what happened to me a lot when I start writing. So this is and then I give you like some good habits to start as you draft. Okay. So always refer to your thesis statement. Okay. You might want to keep them in the view as you write. So just now we have like you already allocate the thesis statement. You have 3 bodies, thesis statement, and always go back. Okay. Use your outline as a guide. Okay. So go back to your outline. It will help you stay focused and organized. However, while drafting, you come up with a better idea, a better way to organize your idea. Don't feel pinned down by your outline. Be flexible. So yeah. You know, while doing it, you think that, hey, this is like better idea that you have before. So just change. Yeah. Keep a copy of each draft you write. Okay, so you do the drafting, you keep it. You don't just throw it away. Okay, this is kind of memorable. Okay, something that you have done. Okay, all right. I think better go to the next one. So just now we learned about the writer's block and how you overcome the writer's block. And then we're going to learn how to establish your credibility, okay? Wait. Eh. Wait, Okay, so we do drafting, and then now we're going to convince. Okay, we're going to convince the readers. Okay, for example, okay, if you ever read a science novel, and then you think that the story has a really good story, and somehow the writer is able to convince you on the setting. So when you read the stories, you're visualizing yourself, you into it, okay, and then you understand every part of the places that the writers imagine, okay. At the same time, you feel that actually you're like convincing enough, okay? You like understand, and you like putting yourself in that kind of writing. So that is how the writers convince you for you to read more and more, okay? Just like when you are watching the anime, okay? Sometimes when you start the first series, and anybody watching Demon Slayer? Anybody? Do you watch Demon Slayer? Do you watch it? Anybody?
Oh, teacher.
No,
You watch
don't
Kill
watch.
Lucky.
You watch it? What anime do you watch?
All kind teacher.
Okay.
All kinds of anime.
Relation, love, action,
So you just
kill, hunter x hunter.
oh, you like universal anime lover, very universal, okay? So I start this Demon Slayer, okay, like last week when we had a holiday. So actually, when they started with the first episode, okay, somehow it convinced me, okay. All right, the writers convinced me to go to another episode. Okay, that is what happened, right? So okay, so the thing is, when you start writing, you need to convince the reader. When they start writing the first line of the text of the sentence, and that it convinces the readers to go more, okay? and not going to be a cliche. All right. And then sometimes credibility, okay, so convincing the readers also comes with credibility. I think I should write it here. Let me share. Okay, let me do that. So when you do convincing readers, okay, you need to come with credibility. Okay, all right. So credibility is something like this. You're reading this science novel. Okay, you read a lot. Okay, and then you read this science novel, and there's some fact in the novel that is incorrect. So what happened to you? You know something about the photosynthesis. I don't like science, okay? I just speak like simple. You learn in classroom about photosynthesis. But then when you read this science novel, it gives you a different definitions of photosynthesis and it given you the incorrect factual. So what do you do?
Usually,
It based.
Huh?
For me, I think it's based on the story itself. So if it's like
that's the point.
imagination or something, so yeah, why would I care, right? But if it's like fact thing, yeah, I need to report.
Okay.
Usually, I don't do anything. Just continue to read it while being angrily confused.
Yes, you're just being angry. Right? So when you do that, you actually lost the credibility. Because when you write story, you need to be like a true kind of story, especially when you deal with the science story. So when this writer, you did something on the factual, okay, it has actually you have you not trust this writing because giving false facts about it. Yeah? Okay. So are there some things for you to establish the credibility of yourself? Okay. Let me share in here. Okay. All right. So they have this is establishing your credibility. Yeah, some things you can do to establish credibility. Can someone read the first square here?
I think this is a very important thing, teacher.
Yeah, is it? It's very important.
Yeah, because I've experienced like I read a book. The book is very, very thick. So the book, the story is quite simple, but the sentence of that the writer wrote is super complex. I think yeah, it's the textbook, the BM textbook. Is it entitled? Yeah. Was it? I think it's something about Jejak Monpus. Yeah, Jejak Monpus.
Jejak Monpus.
I can't imagine how he get an award since I literally it's some sort of boring.
Jejak Mampus, the novel, the literature novel provided for Form 2, I guess.
Oh yeah,
by the school. Yes.
Can you type out the? I don't really like.
Let me.
Can you write the title? This is like the first time I know this is kind of.
Привет, William. Yes, it's the book. This Jejak Mampus, it is actually really thick. But according to my friends, they said that the whole book is actually pointless. It is really boring. And there's not much of caterpillars as according to the book cover. It is pretty much the story of a kid who likes to abuse caterpillars. And yes, it is about kids. It is about that one little kid who likes to experiment with caterpillars, who likes to capture them. That's all. And it doesn't actually make sense with the title because the storyline doesn't actually include about, it doesn't actually talk about menjejak the freaking mampus. So that's why people don't actually read this book.
Oh, yes. I think because the writer has lost his credibility as a writer, right? And then somehow it becomes the national literature book for the students, okay? No wonder like some English book, they adapt it from other countries. Like if you learn about Captain Awadi and some of the books, they adapt it from other countries. I don't know why, but I think we have some of the very good authors from Malaysian authors, very good one. But still, the KPA wants that from UK, from other books, right? And especially when you do your PALS, you still remember your PALS. That one is being published by the UK, right? Because we need to do the CFR thing. But thinking of why do we need, and this is like some other things to talk about. Why do you need to adapt? Okay, some books from other states. We Malaysians, I think we have like quite a number of skills now in writing, and because it's just in a matter of a language, right? So, how do you feel when you read that kind of book? I think I need to try read one. Huh? Maybe I can like ask your teacher Farah to lend me so that I can read it, see how it goes. Thank you for explaining to me. Okay, somehow you make me feel get my interest, to know about the book.
Don't teacher. The book really worse.
But I want to know it. I know I need to know.
Really thick. It's only about 4 contents, and it is actually about how far you can expand just 4 points, 4 initial points of when you start writing. And this is it's this far you can write on a book. Can't believe.
Do you read Fixie book?
What book, teacher? Sorry.
Fixie. I mean, there's like one publisher they call Fixie, and then there's like some publishers legend. I don't know. Can.
I don't actually refer to the publishers when picking a book. I usually refer to the writer, like Kathy Glass. Yes.
Okay, I actually get a lot of information, okay, from you now. So maybe I will try to read some and try to experience, okay, so that I can we can talk about this one. I have no idea what it is all about. Thank you for sharing it with me. Okay, so so that's why I say credibility is very important when you write, okay, because somehow you will especially you have like feeling no trust of the writers, yeah? So from here, some things you can do to establish your credibility. Can someone read the first line here, first square on the screen? I think we have like 4 minutes left. Anybody? Banat, maybe? I don't hear any Banat's voice now. Any Banat? Anyone? Aisha Tasnim, do you want to read the first one? Aisha?
Yes, teacher.
Okay, can you read the first square there for yourself?
Okay.
Put yourself in your reader's shoes. Think about the
Okay.
background, assumptions, and the point of view of your reader. Try to anticipate objections and questions that will pop into your reader's mind as he or she reads your paper. If you are writing a story, make sure the ending follows earlier events in the story and the characters are true to your descriptions of them. If you are writing a letter to the editor of a newspaper, address the opinions of the readership. If you are writing a letter of inquiry about interviewing for a job, show how your background matches the qualifications of the position you are interested in.
Okay, all right. So put yourself in your reader's shoes. Okay. So if you're writing for the school kids, then most of the basic facts is connected with the school kids. Okay, you don't write upper level because somehow you don't understand. All right. So I think because the Malay book just now, maybe I don't know what kind of um, stage or level of the readers. Maybe it doesn't fit with you. It might like understandable by grown up maybe, and some figurative language of using there. I don't know. Yeah, you might find it
Yeah.
like a cliche. Yeah, what is it?
Yeah, I think I found the reason. We think it's boring.
Mm-hmm.
I just figured it out. Because when you read a book, you
Mm-hmm.
tend to imagine the situation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So when the storyline or the writer, they write it too complex, like too specific.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't have the opportunity to imagine it
Ability.
ourselves.
Yeah.
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 So it's like boring lah. Kita
Yeah.
tak nak imagine sendiri.
I know. I think that's what happened to you, no? Because
You
I
need
don't
to
know, like, why
bring.
maybe the writers that forget what kind of shoes he's actually reflecting to, kan? Maybe it's not in your shoes. Okay, maybe it's like more to adult level because that's the way we think. I guess it's that way. Maybe you know. Uh, that's why I say. I mean, the choices of the book. Like if you like reading some ghost stories, okay, some ghost stories, and then you might think that it will basically capture on the readers, on the teenagers, because teenagers like feel it because now in your terms they feel scared of the ghost. Okay. But if I read some ghost stories, I feel bored because not that I don't trust the ghost, but it's just wrong. I mean it's not wrong, it's just like it's just a ghost. so ghost stories doesn't affect me at all. I guess it's like that kind of level. I mean, what horror movies are you watching now? Any horror movies you're watching?
We don't watch TV, teacher.
Or you don't watch TV because you play games. For example, when you play games, like when you play Mobile Legends, okay? I mean, because you like it so much. I mean, the way you pull the swords and everything. But for me, it's like, come on, again, that is my level of understanding, yeah. Because I don't understand why you need to do such thing. I mean, to play games and do all those stuff, man. But then because it's not in my level anymore, and so I think that's why the Mobile Legends, they don't expect adults to play the games. They more expect the teenagers to play the games because teenagers understand it very well, especially when you just sit in the consoles and then start doing it. Yeah, I think it's similar as the books too. Okay, it's 12:01 a.m. already. Can we continue this tomorrow? Yeah, because I think you have class already. It's 12 o'clock. It's a very good topic.
Хорошо, teacher. Yes.
Yeah, it's
We
a
can
very
continue
good
tomorrow.
discussion here. And then can you like tomorrow? Can you I mean like maybe tonight you screenshot the book so that I can like know, oh, this is the book that you're talking about.
Yeah. Yes, teacher.
Okay, so
Oh, I
thank you
didn't
so.
mute.
Yeah, you're mute. So thank you so much. It's 12. I don't want to take your time anymore. So I think we continue this. Okay, establishing the credibility for tomorrow, right? Okay. All right. Thank you so much. You can leave the Zoom now. Okay. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi
Thank you,
wabarakatuh.
teacher.
I'll see you tomorrow, okay?
Spasiba, teacher. Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you,
thank you.
teacher.
Thanks, teacher.
All right.
Thank you, teacher.
Okay.
Thanks, sir.
Yep.
Thank you, teacher.
Okay. Is Nakib there, Nakib? Are you there, Nakib? I think he left already. Okay, I'll see you, okay?